taking this serious.
Testing. Yes, we are live. Good. Hello, everybody. We're back for a second week in a row.
Yes.
It feels good, actually. I can't lie to be actually back-to-back weeks. Let's see how long we're going to keep this going for.
I don't know. Make no promises.
There's no promises. It's never any promises. But anyway, man, welcome back to Uncommon Sense Podcast, episode 29. I think nearly got to the 30. We'll get there.
Soon come.
Soon come. I need to turn my level down a little bit. There we go. Back. But yeah, last week's episode was a good episode. We had good traction on the Instagram and TikTok and stuff like that. Yeah. Good. But the YouTube, we're getting there again. You have to get that algorithm back.
YouTube's come back consistently.
It's so jarring on YouTube, but you can't be disheartened by stuff like that, man. You have no control of it. So, but Fee, could you pull that? You're probably gonna get chilly. The door.
Do you mind switching that light on when you're done as well, please?
Oh snap!
Yeah, the light just deep it.
That's my fault. It's alright, man. This is why it's not professional. I can do as I
It's a work in progress.
Please, but it's not working today.
It was earlier when you had it plugged in before. Oh,
There you go.
thank you.
Oh,
It's lovely.
A little bit extra light. Here we go. You see, Socky can be seen now.
see me?
He's not just a shadow on the chair.
No unlock characters anymore.
Unlock characters. Stop it. Wait, where was I? I was just saying what.
Things are going well on TikTok, Instagram.
Oh yeah, that was it. Yeah, this week, Instagram and TikTok Reels were going well, but yeah, as a YouTube algorithm, it's YouTube algorithms. But as I say, don't worry about things that we can't control, because this world, there's plenty of things that you can't control that they try to make us worry about.
Non-stop.
Like that.
Yeah,
all the time.
So yeah, and before we get fully into the episode, because it's probably going to be end up talking about one specific thing. Because obviously, before we had a little debrief, I wanted to find out if people knew things happened this week, and Jamal didn't know what happened this week, so I'm happy. So it's good he ain't got a clue. Do you look at any of the comments or anything on Instagram before?
I don't. Recently I've been deleting Instagram completely off my phone for periods of time, and only using Instagram if I need it for a specific function or focus.
Oh, fair enough.
Because I've just been trying to get a lot of work done. So I'm trying to channel the amount of places that I'm getting distracted, and Instagram's a place I get distracted. And even within that, if I'm completely honest, when I download it for that purpose, I'll still find myself getting distracted. And I have to. I'm like, what was I even on Instagram for? And I'm there like, forgetting what I went onto Instagram for the moment it's downloaded, because my brain's been hijacked by some dopamine.
That's your algorithm, man.
It
recognises what you like, what you scroll through. So anytime you come back on for a short period, it's like, you like this. And you're straight in.
Yeah, so it catch me. Like, sometimes I won't even start scrolling. It'll be the first post and I'll be like, and I'll go to watch and I'm like, wait, that's not what you're here for. What are you actually here for? And I'm sitting, I'm like, and it take me time. Take me time. Wow, Mella.
Oh,
hello, little one.
Ella's in the background. She stepped in.
Hello, little.
And the little ones with her.
Hello,
the
picnic.
Hello.
Over here.
Nah, she ain't going to toss about you. She looking at
Look on me!
Yeah, there we go.
There's a cat in there as well. I saw Carrie coming.
What, Carrie as well?
Yeah, Carrie's in there as well.
All right then. Whole family.
But what you're saying, last night, a few man was in the studio last night and they were just complaining about the same thing. Algorithms and this, that, the other. But they were kind of complaining about the, how do I say it? I say people that are still kind of caught up in the system. Yeah. They believe that, because obviously people believe if you talk around your phone's listening to you and it's going to push through certain things on the algorithm. Yeah. But even to the nth degree of like you've had a breakup and they feel like they're going to just push all of the girls' friends towards you on your page and stuff like that.
Wow, like that.
That's interesting, you know.
I don't know. That's what I was thinking.
That's crazy work. To push our friends, you know.
Do you know what's interesting? The last time I went through a breakup, I didn't have my ex's friends in any way, shape, or form, in any socials, and all of a sudden in my suggested friends, her friends start showing up theirs. And the only reason I knew is because I'm clicking on it like, yo, who's this? This little sweet little pretty thing I ain't seen before. Man's just gone into single mode as well, so we're good.
Followed by.
Okay, let me get rid of that.
Followed by.
Same, but again. It kept happening. I was like, why would it? And I kind of noticed. I was like, why is all the friends?
So maybe it's a thing, bro.
So that's I didn't clock it until now. You just said that. I'm like, actually, funny enough, when I went through that breakup, bare other friends started just popping up on my feed, and like,
So maybe it's true.
Wow, they're pushing deceit around here. You know what I'm saying?
They're
trying to get your get back.
They put a lot of money into psychology.
100%.
They put a lot of money into psychology.
In the psychology of these.
Yeah, I just wanted to start off on that because on the comments this week, a lot of people just had a lot of things to say about the one reel I put out about Caribbean African issues, problems need to be sorted with Caribbean African issues and stuff like that, solutions. And people are just like, oh, what do you mean by that? You need to actually elaborate more on what I'm talking about.
Right.
I ain't here to save the world. So, I mean, I didn't really want to elaborate on too much because it's not that difficult to understand what I'm trying to talk about. Like, I'm just saying the pure fact, when we came over to the West, we adopted the same way the Western people do governments, live, go about treating each other, the way that the mercenary tactics of having every man for themselves, like, it's quite obvious. Like, and we did, when you go back home and you've been back to the West Indies or you've been to Africa and you've actually had a connection to that, you realize that on the ground it's never that. Everything's still trade. Everything's, I've got this fruit, this food, whatever, I can give you this if you do this for me. Do you understand? If you had been back home, you would know that. A few people are questioning me like, oh, you can tell that I'm African. I was like, well, I ain't African. Wait up,
I can tell you're African, but I'm not though. So
that was like, I don't like how people always take the whole point of just the reel. But I have to remember, you have to still post the reels to get the traction.
Right.
People aren't going to go and watch the reel and then go and watch the whole YouTube video majority of the time, are they now? They're just going to react off what they've seen. So I never get too caught up in it. I just wanted to see if you had seen the comments and stuff like that.
No, I hadn't. But
in that regard.
I mean, like you said, it is self-explanatory, isn't it? Like you said, we've came over here, adopted their philosophies and their way of thinking, their way of being, and then that's not naturally ours. Forget even naturally ours, because I don't even mind something not naturally being out yours and then you adopting it because it's going to actually
because there's a lot
evolution.
Of things you can adopt and still be good.
Do you know what I'm saying? But like, it would be taking on these things at the detriment of ourselves.
To the nth degree as well.
Yes.
Like back home, there's something basic of just saying good morning to someone that you see. Every morning you go out, morning.
Yeah.
All right, just pure acknowledgement.
Just of each other.
You know what I'm saying? Just acknowledgement. Don't do that over here. That's one thing.
Well, you
can't even develop.
It depends on the circles you run in, you know. I've noticed when like you're on buildings where I work on site a lot of the time.
Right.
Them type of man, they do that. That's a normal thing, innit? When you're in the city office, everybody head down, phone straight. Everyone's not looking at each other. Then you don't get that kind of interaction. But that's what's pushed actually. That kind of living, the city living is pushed more than most other types of living in this kind of country. So yeah, that's the culture that gets pushed, what you're saying. To people, everyone's individualistic.
Even to the degree though, back home, even let's say we're in a major town city, you don't really have a city, but more a township. Even if it's a random person that you've never met before, you look upon them, they both look at you at the same time, you both look at each other at the same time, and you nod your head. They're going to do it back. Over here, they're not doing that. Looking at you like, who the hell are you?
True. But I feel like that is because when I'm back home, I don't feel like a black person. Sorry, it's simple as that. I'm never going to try and butter it up. You don't feel like a black person. You feel like a person because everybody around you kind of looks similar to you and they look at you as just equal. When you're here, I'm not saying everybody is divisive, but there definitely is a hierarchy through race and ethics and stuff like that. So you're having to figure out, how do I have to position myself to be able to fit into this demographic or this conversation? Do I have to code switch to just be able to align myself with that conversation, or do I have to be my normal self and I can just be free and calm? Yeah, that's a thing. That's actually a thing. So I don't care who wants to try to push back on me. That happens on a daily basis of what any ethnicity you are in the West, if you're not assimilating to whiteness.
Even a term that I took over back home was like, it's a dog eat dog world. I was speaking to someone and I was like, what do you mean by that? Straight away, there's like, I don't even know what you're talking about. I was like, that's a term that I call from over here, as in the dog eat dog world. So obviously I was brought up communitarian, we help others, etc., etc. I learned after leaving my house and my little bubble, it's a dog eat dog world. People like to try and get one over on people over here. It makes you somehow bigger and better. And I realised it's a very different sense of being. And I took that back home and said that, and I was like, what kind of foolishness is that? You know what I'm saying? Straight up, I was like, what are you talking about? Dog eat dog world.
But then there's a lot of people back home that have obviously come to the West,
right,
and I've picked that up, gone back home, and they're thriving because they're taking advantage of so many different
these
things.
Communitarian people,
thriving,
100%.
And that's what we got to drop out. So if people want talking about my little solutions, that's mainly one of them. Like the fact that we've come over here and just adopted even these cultures and brought them back home to think like we can just like take advantage of each other. Oh my God, I wish I could just go over there and just name and shame everybody.
Yeah.
Everybody. If I had the power for social media and be like, yeah, this man here, this is cancellation number 1. This is cancellation number 2. But yeah, like what's his name, the Jamaican Prime Minister? Andrew Holness. Yeah, that's all I have to say. Andrew Holness. And the Trinidadian woman there, I can't remember, she's got a name similar to Kamala. I think it's Kamala. But yeah, that one there, both of them sellouts. Sellouts, man. Sellouts.
Fair enough.
Anyway, so big thing happened this week in the UN, the world. So basically, they had a vote between all countries on the United Nations on whether if slavery will be voted as the greatest crime ever committed to humanity.
Okay, wait. The question was what, sorry?
They had a vote. I'll say it again for the people in the back. They had a vote at the UN conferences this week, and it was originally floated and pushed by the Ghanaian representatives. And it was to vote on whether that slavery was the greatest crime to be ever committed against humanity.
We're voting on this.
Yeah,
We're voting on that.
So all the countries are voting.
So there's a question. There's a question mark around this. Like there's a debate. There's a grey area apparently.
But there's always been a grey area, innit? They'll
What's
always
the grey
fob it
area?
off. But I guess that's why Ghana pushed it, to put it in like the forefront. It's like, needs to be acknowledged. That's point blank. Because you don't acknowledge it. Oh, you know, the next thing's like, oh, what about the Jews? What about the other people? It's like, nigga, they ain't been through half the shit we've been through. We just want some acknowledgement initially, then we can go about
May
it.
I ask a question? When they say slavery, what slavery are we talking about? Are we talking about
Transatlantic.
Are we just talking about just that one transatlantic slavery? So we're not talking about slavery as in like
No.
on a whole.
No, we're talking about transatlantic.
Transatlantic slavery.
Yeah.
Okay.
So why did you ask that in particular? Go on.
Because you've got the East Atlantic slave trade as well, which is still going
Yeah, but we
on
know
today.
there's different levels of slavery. But what were you thinking that they were going to be getting out of it by pushing all of slavery?
Not because there's a lot of grey areas when you say all of slavery. Because then you're like, well, white people were slaves as well, and like the Asian people, they was enslaved, and like we've all been enslaving each other, really. Like you've got all of that argument when you say all of slavery.
Yeah.
So I'm curious on like, are we talking about like a specific demographic of people being enslaved, which is when I say,
we are
we talking about African slavery?
Yeah.
Because if we're then talking about African slavery, we can't get rid of. Then we're not just talking about the. What was the first slavery we mentioned? Transatlantic slavery. Sorry, we're also then including East Atlantic slave trade as well.
Right.
And when we're talking about that system, like that system is still going on today, still functioning, still working.
All right.
And on top of that, it is been going on for longer periods of time, and the stuff they've been doing has been equally as horrifying.
Let's only focus on the one that the West teach in their schools.
Okay,
Right,
cool.
that everyone's
We
actually aware of.
gotta
go into that first, because if we start breaking that down, people are gonna be like, what are you talking about?
They
You know what
said,
I'm
yo,
saying?
let's stick to the ones that the whites are willing to teach each other about.
talk about it.
And to talk about. Let's start there. Because you know how difficult it is just to even talk about that one. Because you know what the main pushback is when they start that one? You started selling each other out in slavery, so you were the main culprits. All right, cool. Do a little bit of research into that, and it's a lot more grey areas into that. Yes,
It's not even grey areas. It's quite simple. What you guys call slavery is not what we called slavery.
Yeah.
There was a translation issue.
But then there were specific men, like we just said, who went back into the countries, who were free men and took advantage and were selling people into slavery. It did happen.
Yeah.
It did happen. And that's what they love to pinpoint. Those specific small minorities I'm talking about.
Okay, cool.
But that remember happened at a later stage. Earlier on, it was a case of occupation. You guys are now going to give us your people, or we're going to come in and kill everybody.
Yeah.
So do you know what I'm saying?
We didn't even
That's
need
how
to,
it was.
The thing is, they didn't even need to use weapons. The man that cough on you. The man give you a dirty blanket.
You know, like that.
Go home with that to your kids and just
Everybody.
everyone wipe out with disease. We're missing the point. Let's digress. They did a vote in the UN
Let's get back to it.
Let's get back. Because we could go, we ain't waffling, bro. We could go left. So they did a vote in the UN about transatlantic slavery if it was the worst crime on humanity. 127 countries voted to agree. 53 voted to abstain. And 3 voted no.
What if we said no?
Go on. Before I tell you, just have a quick guess who may have said no.
Bro,
If if you're thinking
the main source of evil,
bro, think geopolitics. Right
Yeah,
now.
that's what
the
I'm
main
that's what I'm
source of
thinking.
evil.
Yeah, obviously,
Right.
Israel.
Right, of course.
That one was obvious. That was I wouldn't. That one came in my head and was like, just like forget.
insane.
What's the other two though? And then I was thinking, USA could be one.
There
of them.
you go.
Mm.
And then I was like, who's the third gonna be? And I was like,
The third one threw
my
me
brain
off.
went Portugal.
No.
My brain did go Portugal at first.
No, don't do it.
Nah, not yet. Then I was like, because Portugal was heavily influenced. And
Yeah,
then,
but you got.
Then my brain went Italy.
Portugal is one of the best places to live right now for multicultural people, and it's actually voted. So they weren't going to do that. They can't mess up their propaganda like PR. Right now. They're not doing.
They've done a great run. To be fair,
Yeah.
they've done a great rebranding.
How
did you go from being?
Spain and Portugal rebranding cold?
Oh, swears. Okay, cool. So the
Cold.
next one, then I went. Then my brain goes France.
Nope. Don't think any Europe. All them 53 countries that abstained, European countries.
Makes
I'll leave
sense.
it
You
at
guys
that.
had to abstain because if you said
European countries.
So wait, dog, do you know who the third one is?
If you do, don't say it. I know.
You're going. So that means you don't know. You're like.
No, I don't think I do.
You're question. So you're saying with myself. You're guessing.
Yeah.
Go guess.
Well, guess.
Yeah,
I don't want to say if it's right.
Gotta say it.
No, it wasn't Uruguay, was it?
Close. You're close.
Was it Algeria?
Nope.
Oh, yeah.
Go on then.
Oh, Argentina.
That makes sense.
How can I forget?
Oh,
This is what's going on. Yeah, of course. They ain't that.
The main one.
They got all their slaves even got killed.
Yeah, 100%.
We got a war going. I think it was against Uruguay. I think the war was against Uruguay. They said we got a war going on, and every black man, if you sign up, I think you get some. I don't even know what benefits was, but they sent them all to war.
Yeah, they all
And they said
got killed.
die off over there. Whitewash their country quick.
Completely.
But yeah, that's them, man. They were the third people to say no, but they have to because they are one of the main like propaganda figureheads for America, right wing going.
Oh, is it?
Yeah. They got one of their regimes going on in Argentina.
The next place I was going to go with was Australia.
Australia, no, abstain.
Yeah, I'd say that. That makes some sense of why they're abstaining. Because them with their whole New World Order and the way they're pushing that agenda real strong over there and the rest of it. I was like,
Australia's living is dark right now, bro. Have you seen the price of eggs in Australia?
Oh, yeah, boy.
It's dark.
Hey.
What do you mean?
The price of eggs is like £7.90 for 15 eggs in Australia.
The price of living is crazy like that. Wow. But they make bread over there, no?
Yeah, because that's the facade. Come on, Jamal, you know better. If you make bread out there, that didn't just put the price of living up over there, just to make it accustomed to. But it's never accustomed.
Yeah, but do you know why I thought that might be a bit different? Because I thought it would be a thing of like, obviously they took over the country, didn't they? Obviously they took over the country. It's their country now. They whitewashed that country as well. Long time ago. We already know. So within that, I thought it might be like a little safe haven for like middle class to upper class white people where they're making bread.
The West is
they're running
falling
up
down.
breads,
They're just
and
counted as the
they're
West. The West is falling down. They're counted as the West as well.
Fair. That makes sense.
All of the cost of, I've been watching enough videos coming from my thing, like the cost of man walking around through supermarkets and the prices of everything is. And I've got my currency equivalator just to see what's going on. I'm like, yo, this is dark. Yeah, so. So the vote went through, and obviously 127 to 53 and 3 is going to win. What I just come to see with like they're playing in your face. Abstaining, you might as well have just said no. You know what I mean? Abstaining doesn't mean any different. You might as well have just been a part of the United States, Israel, and Argentina, saying you didn't care. The main thing I didn't care about it though is obviously all these little news outlets telling you like, why are we giving that reparations to these people? What do they deserve to have reparations? This, that, the other. If we start giving them reparations, where will it end? Then the next slave, that's when what you said came up. If they're gonna do this slavery, why are we not gonna do the Eastern Coast slavery? Why are we not gonna do the slaveries of the Slavics when it began? Why are we just gonna do transatlantic slavery? You give reparations to the Jews for the Holocaust. You give reparations to the Japanese for the Hiroshima and Nagasaki. You give reparations to Vietnamese for what you did in the Vietnam War. You give reparations to there's another country in my head I was trying to I've messed it up there. But anyway, you do that anyway. So what's the difference in just for this situation? I don't care about slavery. It's just the fact that you've done an atrocity. It's a crime. what's the difference. Now, we all know the difference. We understand that you still don't look at as black people as the same level as anybody else on the planet because of what you did to us, and you just still have this prerequisite mindset of just lesser than.
Can I give time out?
I feel like they see us as more that they can't give it to us.
Because I just feel like if they give it to us, they'll be like, they've really lost that little bit of power that they had left over. I don't understand to me, it's messed up.
I feel like we'll just expand past them, and it can't be seen because they've said we're so low and little for so long, whilst constantly been keeping us in a certain perpetual state.
It's just
right?
weird to me even having the conversation, but yeah, so you're right.
And then obviously then they're like, you get reparations. We actually might give you your own place. We're not going to come into your country and invade and take your resources. We're going to leave you.
That's
and then
we
find that it can't run.
All right, any time out, go on, what you're saying.
So you're saying basically how they keep us down because they don't see us as equal, or they see us as less than. I think they see us as more than. I think they see the potential, and they see exactly who we can be, and they're like, oh, you can be far greater than what we've ever been, while also not putting anybody down, which then will make us look
even worse
than we already have looked. And it means also that we no longer get to control the narratives and the reality of which we see, and everybody gets to live a better life.
And that's how it should be.
Which means that we now lose and you guys and everybody wins. Because right now it's everybody's losing and that small group of people's winning.
Right.
And now it'll be the opposite. Everybody's winning and that small group will be losing, because for that small group to win, and they need everybody else to lose.
What the thing is, and I don't even think they'll be losing. They'll be losing
they're losing in every way, shape or form.
But Jamal,
but they have to.
They don't have to.
No, do you know why they have to? Because they're a bunch of paedophiles and fucking sex traffickers and a bunch of things.
Yeah,
that cannot run in a society of people who operate. That's my point. So they lose. Because they want to continue doing their sex trafficking, paedophilia, nonsense human bullshit.
I'm not even talking about
that they continue to do.
I think that's a smaller minority of the group to what the group we're speaking about in general.
Okay,
You know,
cool. He's always says it better for us. I can get there. There we go. That is literally the oligarchy level that is above. Okay. There's a level of
talking
gatekeepers.
About all of those in
There's
between
a
as
level
well.
of gatekeepers that are trying to live that life and trying to get there, but they don't understand that that's not worth getting to. But they love money, they love materialism stuff, they love being an individual, blah blah blah. They still love this kind of system that we're trying to break down now, innit? Those are the ones that still can benefit. I'm trying to say. You know
but they're not. So when I say them, I'm not talking about those, because those guys
back.
they're in an in between space. They're like an in between space, so they're not actually that or this. They're like in between. I'm
saying when they push back,
they're going to push back for them lot.
Right.
They're going to push back.
But I'm still saying you gonna benefit as well.
Yeah, they will benefit. They can benefit because they're not doing all the madness and all the rest.
I'm talking about the MAGA red hats.
Okay, cool.
I'm talking about the Make Britain Great Again man, the anti-immigrants. Them man there.
No, they're not all gonna benefit.
Exactly, but they're not gonna believe it though. They are the gatekeepers of why we don't get change.
That I agree. Yeah.
And it's like, yo, you man need to let go.
But they're being conditioned not to.
Go.
Being conditioned not to.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Let go. Like, we are not hating you. We're trying to say you man have been told so many lies. So much history has been warped and twisted and told you backwards, and you're like, yeah, that's the truth. And every time we tell you the truth, you're like, that wasn't what I was told in my history books. And your history books was written by Ghislaine Maxwell's father,
right?
And you know what them man were on about. So
don't even break down the word of history.
Huh?
Even break down the word of history.
Story.
Right. So there
we don't have to go in all that way.
It's done.
History told to majority of us isn't correct, and we all have to go and do our due diligence and find out the real stories and talk to each other, have real debates, real conversations to understand and interpret things similarly, because we're never going to interpret things the same. And that is why we are here in the first place. I believe democracy allows far too much people to have their opinions, and then they blend it and merge it into propaganda, and then they can just blot it out because freedom of speech in democracy, everyone can have a voice. I hate that. I can't lie. I know we're allowed here to talk on a podcast, right, because of it, but if you told me that I was waffling and I couldn't do it and I get to go back to St. Lucia and chill myself, I probably wouldn't talk on a podcast like this. Well, I'm bad at that. Anyway, go on, Jamal. I can see you pondering.
No, I'm just listening to what you're saying. I was just kind of gathering my thoughts around that.
Yeah, so when it comes to Dubai, you know when the man are saying, oh, you can't chat about the missile strikes. If you know about it, you can't talk about any of the things that are going on in Dubai if you're not an actual official. If you get caught telling these things, you're in trouble. Yeah, and I don't mind that, you know. I don't mind that because you can get that takes all of them, both sides of the propaganda. Yeah, it takes both sides of the propaganda. However, the only problem with that is what we know is when it comes most dictatorships, people don't dictate in the correct way. Yeah, you're meant to have a person similar to like Abraham Traore to actually want things for the people. So I'm taking out all of the media because you man are just one person's going to say good things, 10 people are going to say bad things just to get their foot up in the door, just because obviously bad things sell better than good things. I'll take out the whole media. You man ain't knowing nothing what's going over here. If you want to find out what's going on over here, come here and see with your own eyes. That kind of level. I'm not talking about I'm just iron fist, no one's allowed to get any information out because I'm keeping everyone under oppressed and blah blah blah. I just need no media right now because sometimes no eyes on me is better than good and bad eyes at the same time. That's what I'm trying to say. Have I explained that a bit better?
Yeah, 100%.
Cool. Anyway, with the 400 years of slavery thing, reparations, what's your idea of reparations?
Go Darky first.
Darky, what's your idea I saw you pondering, that's why I went to you. What's your idea of reparations?
Okay, so land. So like, obviously, I say land, but Africa left alone. Like, leave the people them alone. Fuck off with all your. I know, because they need it. They have nothing. All you're exploiting. Leave them alone. Give them back their spiritual systems. Do you know what I'm saying? They'll refind it themselves anyways. There'll be people there that can be redistribute it, but just stop.
Interfering with it.
Interfering with that, because that will naturally spread. As soon as that interference stops, people will naturally start to spread that. And the education will come from that, really and truly. And that's it. Education, proper education on how to work, because that's been stopped by us. Spiritual systems, and leave the people alone. That's it. I don't even want that. Just fuck off.
That's exactly what I was thinking.
That's literally it. I don't want.
I got one more thing on top of it.
Off.
There's one more thing on top of it that I want, but go on. If you got anything more.
No, so you're saying.
Yeah. All the artifacts in the British and them and the museums, they need to go back. And not in just Africa, I'm talking everywhere. Everywhere. Asia, South America.
So that's what your wants are from reparations?
Just the beginning. Because they're not going to give you much. I know they're not going to give you much. Or if anything.
So my thing, realistically, what I'd be asking for would be money. Because they're not going to give us anything. So if they're going to give us anything, the one thing they're not going to give us spiritual systems back. They're not going to give us land. They're not going to give us ways to build ourselves up and all the rest. Education systems, all the rest is going to be. Even asking for money is like asking for too much. Personally,
I know it's not going to happen.
I think so. If we're talking about realistically, the only thing I would really be even considering asking for would be money. If we're talking about what would be my ideal ask, for us to be able to build our own systems, period. So that in every way, shape or form. So like, and from ground up. So we get to determine what our systems are going to be and what we're going to rely on, all the rest of it from ground up. So whatever that comes, whether that can be spiritually, economically, do you know what I'm saying? Everything, whatever, we get to then build our systems.
So what the first thing Darky said about leaving us alone?
Yeah, just leave us alone. Like, but not even leaving us alone. Like, as in, well, kind of leaving us alone. But that's but in the sense of like building ourselves up so we can then decide how we're going to trade with you, if we want to trade with you. So in that way, like, because your things leave us alone so we can do that.
So leave us alone so we can actually get to that point. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Properly, and then we can, we know what we've got, now we can trade. Yeah. Well, we ain't been left alone to actually do that, but yeah.
So my thing's that, similar to that kind of same kind of thing for yourselves. But the main one that I was kind of thinking that hadn't been said was what you just said there, which was like, I want all our stuff given back. I'm like, if I was going to ask for anything, I wouldn't even ask for money and all the rest of it. In fact, if I had to really think about it, ask for everything that's been taken off of us, give them back.
That won't be able to be done.
If we receive everything that's been taken off, I mean, some of it I know they can't. They literally can't. They literally can't. I know.
We'll be tearing down houses and this is brick my great granddad for fuck this shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not gonna run. It would be a wasteland. It would be a wasteland. There's nothing.
Gonna go that nth degree, you know. Might taking off roof tiles.
This brick, my granddad brick there, bro. That's my brick. You know what I'm saying?
That's cold.
No, but when I mean like they're given everything they've taken back, I mean like
the museums and gold and that.
The artifacts, the gold, also the information. Not just it leaving there. Obviously, I understand that a lot of the information was destroyed. A lot of the information was destroyed, was taken away, all the rest of it. I'm aware. But there's also like tunnels and there's whole libraries, huge libraries multiple of these across the world, where it's like all a load of information that's said to be destroyed, but it's just been hidden.
There's a great library in Iran, I think so. I was doing a little sometimes just some reels come up on my stuff sometimes, and I'm just like, you know, the great Library of Alexandria, when that was burnt down, a lot of the books were taken from there, and they ended up back over in Persia, and then they waited for, I think it was over 50 to 60 years before they started to get translated. When obviously the Muslim Empire happened and Muhammad and they took over a majority of the world, they weren't actually educated and like that, and they didn't actually know how to run an empire and stuff. So they let the Persians run the empire still, but they were like, "You're gonna teach us." And because Persia had a lot of the information that had lost from Alexandria, had come from China, had come from India, and it all still there. That's how the Muslims got a lot of their education at the time. So, but anyway, a lot of these things are people. I would love to have known that in history lessons, but revolution would have been a long time ago if that happened. You know what I mean?
Couldn't do none of that. So you know what I'm saying? So there's access to this stuff. So if we just got given back all our stuff. That's the stuff that I'm talking about when I say giving back our stuff, not the brick out of the wall.
Of course, I'm just taking a piss. I'm taking a piss. That's obviously not. But they couldn't do that. It wouldn't work.
You couldn't even do the museum thing. You think?
See, my thing,
the museum thing, because it just sits there.
Yeah,
I just think transport back.
I think it's disgusting how they can even come up with a conversation and any kind of comeback when people are saying, "Give us our things back."
Do you know why? Because if you say, "Give me the stuff that's in the museum," we go, "Okay, but what about our private museums?" So, does that include our private museums?
Of course it does.
Because if it includes our private museums, bro, that means everything of theirs is taken. Like, you're talking like all the gold that the gold reserves gone. All their gold reserves gone. Like all of these things that so I know we don't care, but the reason why they can't do any of that is because, like, my thing is this, you guys can keep your systems and everything how it is right now. Give us the stuff that you've taken back. If you give us all that stuff back, we can destabilize everything that you've done already, and you continue to do. So they can't give us back anything.
And you know what the dark
because
thing
if they give anything back, that opens up that opens Pandora's box up. And they can't open Pandora's box.
And Pandora's box doesn't need to be opened by giving stuff back. Pandora's box can be opened by information and people just knowing it.
That's my point. That's why I want the information given back, so then we can just. I'm like, you keep taking the stuff that's like that. The representation for me is like, you lot can keep doing everything you're doing. Just give us our stuff back, and then we can then do what we want with that. We can do what we want with that.
Yeah, but they could never.
But they could never do that because that then destabilizes the system.
Even get to it because I know nothing's going to come.
Reparation-wise, we're not going to get reparations.
I don't think anything's going to come.
This is going to be an ongoing conversation.
This was a distraction again. Like, obviously, in my opinion, just another distraction
to move us away from the bullshit that we've been.
Anything that what's going on in the world right now. That was just a distraction for it. Because at the end of the day, what is that going to come to? In my opinion, nothing. It's
just a conversation.
Yeah, it's just a conversation because. My personal opinion when it comes to Africa, I know I'm not first generation, third generation, fifth, sixth, seventh generation African. I'm from the Caribbean, majority of my family when I can come back. But how I look at things is, how on earth can you have a continent that has so many small, big, medium-sized countries in it, and none of them are allowed to just pass over borders without having visas and passports and stuff like that? And the borders could be like a market, you know. I'm talking about one person can buy apples on one side of this, but because you've stepped over the border, the market can be on both sides of the border. But because you haven't got a visa, you can't go over there and buy apples on this side for this certain price because they have a different currency to this country. It's dark. I know I'm not a geopolitics expert, but you should have just made everywhere states, surely. Similar to how America is, that's how they get away with a lot of the stuff because they don't have multiple countries. It's just states. So they can come and go as they please because it's a whole entire country. And you don't have, well, they do have different tax laws and stuff like that in the States over there, but it's not as dark and as in depth as it is when you have countries, because you have to do so much more talking, so much more government, so much more bureaucracy in each government in each country just to get anything done. But if you had a continental government for Africa and it was more or less just states, you would probably get a lot more done, in my opinion.
100%.
Without a doubt.
But that's why they come and destabilize, start drawing lines.
Berlin Conference, 1884.
Why don't Congress start drawing lines on the map and say, you guys are from here and that, okay, so this is half of your people and that's half of your people. Let's put a line right between those two to make you two separate groups of entities, and now you're going to
4 months to do that, you know. The Berlin conference, it took them 4 months of deliberation to come up and do all that madness. Just 4 months just to ruin centuries and centuries.
Do you get it?
It's dark, innit?
Centuries. Centuries is undercutting it.
Yeah.
Undercutting it. Been there for a very,
So
very
yeah,
long time.
I'm happy that you didn't know that was going on this week.
Bro, I'm still like mind boggled that was a conversation.
Big conversation.
I thought this was common. I thought this was common knowledge. I thought this was like just known thing to everybody.
It's not though, is it, mate? Because at the end of the day, you still bring up slavery, but yeah, you sold each other into slavery. Every time, every single reel I've ever seen on it, like you could just go into the comments and a little bit, you sold yourself into slavery. That's what you're gonna keep pushing.
I feel that's a little buzz phrase. You know what I'm saying?
Man.
That's what I feel like it is. They just chuck it out there. Do you know what I'm saying? Just to undermine what you're saying.
So that's
It's
as
your
soon
fault
as you
anyway.
Make
get
them
to
feel
that
better
stop
about
gap.
themselves, isn't it? The thing is, they don't even have to feel better about themselves. The average person who's actually riding that comment doesn't even need to feel better about themselves.
Because you had no part of it. You're just benefiting from it.
Like even if you did have part of it, let's say like your grandparents, your great parents, whatever, was part of that thing and all the rest of it. You personally didn't do. You're reaping the benefits off of it, but it's nothing that you did. Like personally, like you as an individual. So you throwing out that statement does actually nothing. Like you're defending your ego, which you're
defending the system.
Which is, so you've associated yourself as part of the system. So you're defending the system to defend your ego.
It's called knuckle-headed tribalism.
That's perfect. That's what I was getting to. So you just got to where I was getting to. You got to where I was getting to.
These men don't even know what that is, but they do it so easily. And I love it because I watch football fans do it all the time. All the time. And I switch off of it now because football is just another main cog in the system, obviously, to keep you in that way. I love football. Don't ever get it twisted. I'll never stop watching it, but I am not getting caught up in all of their politics anymore and getting upset with a team of 11 men running around a pitch that I have no control of whatsoever. Like, so if you're going to start chatting to me about this man's better than that, have you seen the chat this week? Neymar versus Wayne Rooney. Who's a better player? Who do you think's a better player?
Don't piss
These
me off.
debates.
Don't piss me
Who do you think
is that a debate?
It's big debate. Big debate going on.
Piss me off.
Big debate.
I'm a Man United fan. Born, bred, raised.
Big debate.
Up when Rooney was, Rooney! Like during that period of time.
Rooney,
And I didn't rate Rooney back then.
Yeah.
Still don't rate Rooney now. His numbers are
Still not
No, his numbers ain't shit. His numbers
I
ain't
thought you were going to say
shit.
something different.
His numbers ain't shit. Everyone's all talking about Rooney, the top flight football player. He's not. If you actually,
Nah, he is.
No,
but
he's
not
not.
numbers.
No. I'll get mad about this because I've had this debate.
Rooney's
even with
technique's cold,
man.
man.
Huh?
Rooney's technique was cold.
His technique.
Yeah, it's cold.
How
Like
often?
striking the ball.
How often?
Pinging balls.
Huh?
All the time. Rooney was cold for playing football. but
Rooney
he's
was
not
in a
Neymar.
system of which worked for average rate players. We had people like
Boy,
Fletcher.
Average.
We had people like Fletcher.
Did you just call Wayne
Carrick.
Rooney average?
Yes, bro.
That's different. You've gone past Posso.
Bro, average, bro.
You've gone past Posso, bro.
We can pull up the stats and statistics of how many goals.
we have. We've seen
hold
that,
on,
we've seen that.
Let me make my point though. We can pull up the stats and statistics of how many goals, how many seasons Wayne Rooney has scored over 20 goals in a Premier League season, and it is atrocious to say that man was week in, week out playing for arguably during that era the best club in the world and not scoring over 20 goals in a single Premier League season. During that period of time,
Up
there
until
is
when
not,
you're talking about? 2014.
I haven't got the numbers off the top of my head. I can pull it up and I can show you. I can read it out.
Yeah, we don't want to go. We're not a
But the
football
point,
pod.
yeah, I know. But the point of the matter is, what I'm saying is, there's no conversation for Rooney being even in the conversation with Neymar, bro. You're talking Neymar is in conversation of being one of the best footballers we've seen. Period. In our generation, one of the best
You're
footballers.
the second
we've
Man
seen.
United fan to say that.
So
Jaren said that yesterday.
Do you get it? Why are we
And
talking
Darren
about?
will be here in about an hour or so.
Why? How is there a conversation with Rooney and Neymar? You're talking one of the best footballers that we've ever seen.
We know why.
potentially, and then this English youth that was able to be in one of the best teams in the world for an extended period of time for no other reason that I could see, other than he was an English youth.
I'm not gonna.
And this is from someone who's watching Man United week in, week out during that period of time.
I ain't backing him.
Bro.
You're passionate, bro.
Huh? Yes, because it pisses me off because it's English, bro.
Knuckleheaded tribalism.
Knuckleheaded tribalism, and it's not even like
all of them. It was funny. Each one of them are taking their turns to say like. It started with Rooney, innit? It started with Rooney saying he didn't rate Neymar on the Overlap podcast with like Gary Neville, Carragher, all them man. Yeah, right. And then Carragher goes, Neville goes. I think it was. It's about output. No. Lie. I'm mixing the story up. I'm not gonna go into too depth. They forgot about that one. Then they started putting Mo Salah versus Neymar because Mo Salah's choosing to leave Liverpool this season.
Right.
And then Gary Neville goes, I don't care about what Neymar looked like and this, that, the other. It's about output. And then the next slide is literally like Neymar scored 100 more goals, 110 more assists in like 90 less games or something, 100 and something less games.
Right, that's what we're talking about.
Man's talking about output. I'm like, it's always these English man.
You want to talk about output? I'm looking at it right now.
Oh, no.
Season per season, yeah. 2 seasons where Wayne Rooney scored over 20 goals, bro, in a single season for Man United. I'm talking about for Premier League. Yeah,
but Drogba didn't do it like that either. Drogba, you could say the same thing about Drogba. Yeah, Drogba did not back goals like that. Don't do it. He didn't. Look at his stats.
You'd only really come on and just get a goal here and there.
Drogba bagged just above 100 goals in the Premier League. Not that much. I don't want to go into it. Not a football pod, please.
Yeah.
Please.
I'm not.
We can be here 4 days. We can do that. But I'm changing. This is what I forget about now. I couldn't give a toss about the argument.
But do you know why I don't care
back and forth on who's better? Because my eyes tell me who's better, and I don't need to have the argument with you anymore. I really don't care. That's what I was trying to get to the point of, because they push us down these roads of being knuckleheads and just being tribalistic just to back things for the sake of backing them, rather avidly looking at the evidence.
Bro,
do you understand?
Based on what I'm seeing right here, Wayne Rooney shouldn't have made it past his 5th season with Man United starting. Because he's on, man. It was 11 goals in the first season, 16, 14, 12,
Rooney
12.
ran around the pitch. Rooney did more than just score goals. Rooney ran around the pitch.
Bro, Alex Ferguson's system was so certy. There was no getting to run around the pitch like that.
Yeah, man. You had to have engines.
Certy system, bro.
You had to have engines, bro. Everyone had to have a little stamina in them and them days, fam. But anyway,
Rooney was fat and lazy after his 6th season in Man United.
Why did I bring this up?
Bro, and the thing is that this is coming from a Man United supporter. Well, not anymore, because I don't care for Man United. I don't care for football and politics. But this is during a period of time where I was a die-hard Man United fan. Every week in, week out, I'm watching Man United play. I'm watching their home games. I'm watching their away games. I'm watching their cup games. I'm watching who's their competitors. I'm watching their games to see how they're... Bro, man's watching it. I used to have this argument all the time with people. I'm like, what, Rooney? And this same Muppet is the guy now trying to say that he don't rate Neymar.
Yeah, he was better. He said,
the audacity of you, bro. You should know that you had a get out of free jail card when you was on that pitch because you did Alex Ferguson being English and all the rest of it coming through at the time that you came through. And you have the audacity to open up your mouth and say that Neymar's not a great player.
Yeah.
Oh,
well.
Huh?
But there we go.
You think I'm passionate about football?
That's
passionate about bullshit. I'm hearing bullshit.
That's a simple, what do they call it? Representation of knuckleheaded tribalism.
Yeah, and just
because
as well.
That is in so many different walks of life. And I say it's the worst in the white community, because you lot just believe a lot of stuff just because you've been told, or that's how your culture is meant to look at certain things. You're meant to believe that the Premiership is meant to be the greatest thing since sliced bread because Englishman created football, and the Premiership is rough and tumble and all strength, and you've got to have a bit about you to be able to play in the Prem. So because of that, they believe everybody that's played longer in the Prem, won in the Prem, is better than everybody outside of the Prem. And we know that's not the case, but that's an English tax that they have for here. Same thing goes with so many things in history, because they just want to say, oh, we did it. It happened ages ago. So why are you upset about it? Like, we're upset about it because it still affects us to this day. So many things that you've done in the past are affecting so many people outside of... We live in England. We live in the West. We don't actually get affected it too much. But in Africa, there's still colonization going on over there. Still going on in South America. Still going on in Asia. and they just say, "Oh, sorry, it was me that did it. It was my ancestors that did it." Like, sorry, it's not good enough to do it, because if we say these things to you, I guarantee we ain't gonna get the same.
We ain't gonna hear nothing, but they're allowed to. They don't have to question things as much, and they can sit in their ignorance, and it doesn't affect their circles. Do you know what I'm saying? Their ignorance doesn't affect their circles. Their ignorance affects us.
Yeah.
So they don't deal with the consequences of their own ignorance. When you deal with the consequences of your own ignorance, you can't stay in your ignorance.
Yeah,
like
because
if
you have to live
get
it.
slapped in the face with the consequences of your actions, you start going, "Rah, this cheek's starting to hurt." Like, yo, I need to switch up my actions because I need to get out of the way of that slap.
I don't think that's the case for them. They still get slapped, and they can just be like, "Yo."
They don't get slapped though.
They do.
With what?
They do, bruv. Every time, like, I'm not talking about, like, the normal average white person gets slapped on a daily basis, bro. Like, cost of living is going up. Your oil prices.
That's now though. That's recent things that they're starting to get. Since COVID, they're starting to get slapped, and they're starting to feel the soreness is starting to get real strong on this side of the cheek. So they start, and that's why we're having these kind of conversations though, where like
why are you not
everybody's
waking up? Like, yo, that's what it is. The conversation is, why are you not waking up?
Yeah.
This is not just us versus you.
because
This is everybody now versus them up there. This is slave versus elite class, like we keep saying on this pod. This is not middle class anymore. That's gone. Stop that.
But we've been getting slapped for so much longer.
Oh yeah.
So we've even been aware who's slapping us, and we've been trying to put things in place to stop us from getting slapped.
Yeah.
Whereas for them, they haven't been.
And they'll burn it down.
Yeah.
They'll
But they
build a
haven't
highway through it.
Yeah, bro. But they haven't been trying. They haven't been getting slapped. So where they haven't been getting slapped until recent, it's like, right, it's not really. They're not really feeling it like that yet. It's only until now they're starting to like, bro, what the fuck is going on? They start looking around like.
I feel like they're feeling it more though, as you're saying, but
what
they're getting slapped. Whoever's slapping them's like, oh, it's that
Immigrants.
geezer over there. It's that geezer
Immigrants.
over there. That's what
about
they're
to say,
believing it. It's the immigrants, yeah.
It's the immigrants.
Oh, fucking coming over,
Iran.
taking your jobs,
Iran.
making your rent high, making your food high, making
Temporarily
your bills
though,
high.
because we've also been there already. So as a people, we've been there. We've also been slapped by that same person who, and then pointing the finger at, it's that light skinned nigga, it's that dark skinned nigga, it's that house nigga, it's that field nigga. That we've already had that slap in the face, and by the person who's slapping us in the face, they're pointing us in the wrong direction, and then we're believing that and being naive and believing that. They're at that bit. They're just that first exposure where they're still believing the person who's slapping them and going.
First, they've been doing that to them for a minute.
Yeah, 100%.
Bro, I don't think they're ever gonna come and wake up for that if they've been doing it for a minute and they still believe in it.
Nah, they will, because now the slaps are harder. The slaps are way harder. Like you just said, cost of living is as high as it is. Like, do you know what I'm saying? We're experiencing mandatory lockdowns and stuff like that. Whereas, like, so the consequences of their ignorance is way with the severity of the consequences are way higher, and what they're dealing with is way higher. So like there is having to be, sooner or later you're having to, and you're seeing it, like the average conversation, like when you speak to more English or white people in the UK, at least with myself, at least I'm finding
more liberal people.
I'm speaking to a lot of, and they're way more open to the idea of what I'm saying. Like if I go now into a corporate work job and I go, the stuff that's happening on the Jeffrey Epstein files is fucked. All the English white people are like, yeah, it's insane, innit? The fact they're doing this, that, the other. They're now like, oh my gosh, this is disgusting, this is nasty. Whereas like
beforehand,
a year ago, if I was like, yo, there's a group of people out there eating people, trafficking them and doing this, that, what are you talking about? You're an absolute madman.
But what if I just tell you, if you go look at your history books, that's been going on.
Again, you're still you're a madman.
I know.
But because
it's dark. That's what annoyed me though. The fact that your own history books will tell you Saturnalia was a thing in the Roman Empire, and you still do that to this day.
Yeah, facts. But and that's what I mean by like they're waking up, because now they're even more open to the idea of the conversation. Yes, we're all being easily distracted, and we're being distracted and pulled in different directions. However, we are also seeing a huge like realization of, no, we are all getting kind of fucked.
All right, cool.
It's happening slowly, and it's not happening as quickly as I would like it to be, but I do see it.
All right. Have you ever heard of this thing called Plato's allegory of the cave?
Go on.
I feel like I have.
Yeah, I feel like I have, but I don't know, like, but I couldn't refer to it or anything like that the way you're referring to it. So go.
Plato's allegory of the cave. All right, it was a group of people chained by rope or chains. Doesn't really matter about that. They were in a dark cave. They look at a wall in front of them. There is a fire behind them or a certain type of light behind them. There is also people who are around that fire, and what they used to do is have figurines and put it in front of the fire, and no shadows from the fire will get projected onto the wall in front. The people in the cave, all their existence and what they know is those shadows on the wall in front of them. That's all they know. So what they started to do is they created language. They started to create culture. They started to create religion about what they knew and what the shadows were showing on the wall, because that's all they knew. That's their existence. Yeah. One person randomly one day thought, there must be something more than this. Took off the shackles, a little ribbon they had around his neck. It wasn't anything, no chains or anything like that. It was something light. Took off the handcuffs that he had, were like little bits of ropes, and went out into the wilderness and went out.
Oh yeah, I do know about this.
Yeah. Saw what was actually out there, understood. It took him a bit of time to comprehend what was really going on, because all I've known is the shadows on the wall. Went back to the cave to go and talk to the people and tell them this is what's out there. The people inside the cave kill the man off. Yeah. The world carries on the way it is. The illusion's on the wall, and it carry on the way it is. That is what we're living in at this moment in time.
Yes.
That's the world of which we live in.
Except,
go on.
It's not one person leaving the cave.
Yes.
It's multiple individuals.
That's what you're explaining right now.
Yeah.
That's what I was about to say.
Yeah.
You're explaining the part with people. There's multiple. We've got droves of people leaving the cave. All at once now, and starting to talk to each other on the outside world, and starting to think, we need to go back inside the cave and keep talking to these people. And that cave usually is propaganda media, news, BBC, all that stuff, the GB News, old history, old education. That's the cave, the system itself that was told people, indoctrinated everyone to believe one way of thinking. Yeah. So that's why when I've been looking at a little bit more things, Plato's allegory of the cave is from yonks ago. I'm talking 2,005, 3,000 years ago. Yeah, Plato did that. Yeah. And if that is still working to this day, that shows you how much history just repeats everything. Do you understand? And it's dark that we just ignore it and it's right in front of our face.
It depends on when we say history repeats itself. Engineered history repeats itself. Yeah. They've engineered history to repeat a certain cycle, so that cycle keeps continuing, so they can so a certain group of individuals keep continuing to experience what they want to experience. But we're seeing that's come to an end now, so we'll start.
Well, we hope it's coming to an end. It looks like sometimes they can take things up from the ash and just
try. There's no phoenixes over here. I won't allow no phenixes to run out of here.
These Donnies, bro. They lie until something looks real.
They'll chat until they've created something that can fit in that space.
And it will circle in the square for a little while. Yeah, we're going to live with that for another 50 years. And then 50 years until I'm dead. And I'm like, you can't.
But it's time done now.
Yeah, we're seeing the ends of it now. The fall of everything. They're having to admit stuff. Them having to release stuff. Trump being the final trumpet. Do you know what I'm saying? Obviously, as prophecy says, he's...
Pardon the pun. That's called Trump being the final trumpet.
He is. He's letting everyone know, I'm brass, I'm brazen, this is who me and my people are. This is... everything's out and open. That's it. And
the waffle this week has been amazing. It's been amazing. Like, he's come out and said yesterday was like, just chatting. He's like, I love to be around losers, because who wants to be around winners? Because all they do is talk about success. I want to hear losers talk. I want to talk about my success to losers. Like,
listen to brazen.
This man standing in front of a congregation of men, saying this, and people are laughing. I'm like, a bunch of NPCs.
What he just said is, my ego is so fragile that being around people who are also successful scares me, and I don't want to be around those individuals.
There we go.
Because I don't get to talk enough about myself, and I only want to talk about... Do you want to hear something mad that I've done recently, though? Just way off topic, kind of on topic, but something I've done today, actually. So obviously you've got this use of AI and all the rest of it, and like it's a supercomputer in it. It's able to take a load of information and regurgitate that to you in a way that you won't be able to do it for yourself, or it will take you a lot longer to go through that process. So obviously, I've been using ChatGPT for personal use, particularly for the business use. So it knows like for like a couple of years now. So it knows a lot about my communication style, my psychology, the way I approach issues, the way I overcome things, and blah 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 blah. List goes on. It knows a lot about myself. So I've been doing what I've done today. I was like, give me a brief of everything you've learned about me over the last however long. Give me.
I didn't know you did anything this way. Huh? I can imagine. Yeah, you can do anything. I guess.
Yeah, bro. So I was like, break it down into my personal, my business, and everything in between. Give me the goods, the bad, things I may not even notice even about myself, things that like giving arts, give me a really, really in-depth thing, like a really in-depth brief. It's giving me a mad brief about myself. Do you want to hear what it said about me? Oh, I'm interested. It's jokes, bro. It's jokes. I was like, the brief. I'll just read out some key brief.
The beer is here.
Some key pieces you say the beer is here.
What
was it? Mercury's in retrograde.
The beer is here, man. Wait for that announcement later on in the year.
So it's even telling me like, oh, this is what I'm like. Your strongest overall profile: personal, professional, your strength zone, risk zone, and then like a brutally honest summary. It says, and it said you are not ordinary in how you think. That is both your edge and your burden. That's how it starts.
Try to break you. That's to build you up to break you down.
Right.
You are sharper than a lot of people, and you are likely listening. You are sharper than a lot of people you are likely listening to, which is why generic advice frustrates you. You care too much about the truth.
Too much. That's crazy.
You care too much about the truth to build a fake business. You care much about impact and won't settle for shallow success. And it's just basically loads of in-depth, like loads of just basically little things like that. Yeah, you care too much about integrity to become aggressive in a hollow way. So these
mercenary, you can't be you care too much to be a mercenary.
Yeah.
You're not gonna just go and be what's that I tell people about capitalism teaches us how to. I said it the other day and I got bare likes on my comment. I can't even remember how to do this now, but it teaches us how to basically take advantage of each other.
Oh, okay.
Best ways is to teach.
100%.
Yeah,
100%.
If you really wanted to just into this capitalist way, you just don't care about anybody.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Savage out here.
Which is probably why the 42 Laws of Power? Is that the book called? 42 Laws, I think it's 40. I didn't like that
52,
book.
I know.
52?
Sorry, one
and two.
It's a number.
Yeah. Or Laws of Power. Like, I read that book and I was like, I see this people trying to run this game on me, but I don't run this game because I don't run through
that way of thinking.
And then that obviously affirms that. Like that explains like why those kind of books don't resonate with me, because I'm like, this is
exploit.
Exploitation.
I'm trying to remember the word exploit. Yeah, capitalism teaches each other the best way to exploit each other.
Yeah. And this was just basically a playbook on how to exploit people you're around, how you're communicating with people and all the rest of it. But the book was very useful to see how people are trying to exploit me.
Yeah, it opens your eyes to the world.
I was like, Raj, this is the game that these lot are playing in the corporate world against me.
But
no wonder I'm losing all the time.
When I was reading that Plato's allegory thing in depth, and I was thinking, this is actually just what we live in.
Yes.
This is mad. And if you try to explain it to a Gen Z, they will never understand.
No.
Majority won't understand.
Because they haven't been exposed to it enough.
Yeah.
They haven't seen
it.
But
they are the reason. You are literally you are the ones that are looking at the shadows on the cave wall. Yeah. I'm explaining it to you and you're just like, nah, bro.
But the conditions,
cool, bro.
That's what I'm saying. They haven't been exposed to it enough.
No, them shadows
they ain't experienced. They hasn't got the notamus yet.
Yeah.
They need to get the notamus for them to, or they need to just have their wake up. But yeah, it was interesting. I would recommend everyone tries it.
God,
you know, the leaders of like countries, they have to be psychopaths, registered psychopaths to be a leader. So you can actually press the button to kill people if you need be. Just so you're aware.
That makes sense, though.
You need to be a psychopath to be a leader.
That makes sense.
Most leaders of countries are registered psychopaths because they have to be and able to kill people.
Yeah, because otherwise,
you're aware. So even the leaders are a bit fucked. So you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it makes sense though, because you ask someone like me to click the button
to kill,
and I'm like,
kill people.
Yeah, kill like Jamal, you're gonna kill these 100,000 people, but we're gonna make 26 billion in profit. I'm like,
why?
So we are not going to kill those 100,000 children and people because we have enough money to worry about everything. So we're good. So we're not going to do that.
People is profit. Like what we're talking about, it's dark when people do that to it. You don't understand. If you don't have, I said it last week, if you don't have consciousness, there is no wealth. People's attention spans is everything. So you're killing off everybody in the top. We need to population control and kill off people. All right, you do that. You have no one to get your money from and no one to get your resources from. You just want a smaller batch of people to rule over to say like you're gonna just be our slaves. It ain't gonna work that way. You're gonna just kill off your workforce. I
think it's a cycle, innit? They have like peaks where it's like, oh, we need this amount of numbers. Oh, now we've hit that numbers. We've achieved what we need to achieve with that.
Aware.
All right, cool. Now we need to depopulate, so we depopulate. Sorry,
that's one piece.
So that we can then deal with. Okay, now we've got less volume of people. Now we can put in place these kind of plans.
That's one
we
piece.
can put in these things, and then up, down, rinse, repeat.
But yeah, we're coming to the end of an episode this week. I like to keep it around about this time because it's easier to chop up
the rest of it.
Got a life.
Yeah, fair.
Dad and all that. The baby got taken out. She just couldn't hack it. She was like, nah, too much concentration, loud noises in the background, people talking about politics. I don't care about that. But yeah, like, subscribe, people. Turn on that notification bell. All that good stuff, and keep commenting. I like that. We'll keep trying to interact with everyone. Get back to the comments and stuff like that.
Peace and love always.
In a bit.
You're not taking this serious.